Hi, Ghetto Girls Love God. Here we are, episode one. I'm your host, Brianna. I gotta get used to saying it. I have to get used to calling myself Brianna, and I also have to get used to saying your host because y'all asked and I delivered. I honestly just, I'm so grateful. First of all, I want to say thank you because my trailer video, y'all showed me so much love. I was like, oh, they really like me. Y'all really like me. But I do want to talk about how I got here. I know I'm gonna have to be completely vulnerable with y'all, and I'm gonna have to open up a lot. I will have segments where I answer questions. Like this is a community. This is not a podcast where I just sit and talk about myself and everything I went through and how I got here. And you should do it too. I am not trying to get you to go to Dubai. I'm just telling y'all what works for me. I know there are more people that feel like me, so it's the journey for all of us, but it's more of a community. I want us to feel like we're running this race together. I am not holding a stick out waiting for y'all to get to the finish line because I'm not at the finish line. I'm probably getting lapped by some of y'all. That's the crazy thing. So, Ghetto Girls Love God. When you think of that, you think of what exactly? And that's what I'm here to answer. So, first things first, shout out to my best friends, Raven and Megan. They played a lot of roles with me doing this. But we are friends. We have been friends for I want to say about 11 years. And so we are, I mean, what you consider ghetto, it's kind of like surface level, but loud, boisterous, in your face, just here we are. I feel like when you think of a ghetto girl, you honestly it's like, is she ghetto or are y'all boring? Because I think when you think of a ghetto girl, you just think of a girl that's loud and boisterous and stand on her stuff and don't take nothing. But me and my friends, back to the point, I feel like we were considered that. We used to go out, have fun, do whatever. And but we will pray. We will pray, we will worship, we will cry. And Raven has always been the one that I don't care where I'm at, what I'm doing, I minister to anybody. Where I was more like, girl, I do not want to talk about God in the club. So we had a group text. It was the three of us in a group text, and I named the group text Ghetto Girls Love God. Now, rewind to when I actually started thinking about starting my podcast. I didn't have a name for it. I used to be like Bree, something with Bree, something with Bree, and I kept trying to incorporate my name, and nothing was sticking. And it's like when I started that group text, I was like, I love this name. Like it just, I don't know, it did something for me, and I feel like that is when God stepped in because I kept trying to make my podcast about me. I kept trying to incorporate my name and make it, this is Bree's this, and this time with Bree, when in all reality, I'm not doing this for me. Y'all, I still don't know what I'm doing right now in this moment, talking. Like, this is all God. And I think that's what I'm trying to get people to realize. Like, I did go out. I did have fun. I drink. I party. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I take up space. I own the room. But at any moment, if God needs to use me, I have opened my heart for him to use me. And that's the journey that I'm on. I'm learning how to be more like him. Like, I'm walking with Christ, yes, but you can be all of those things. It's honestly your heart. What kind of heart you have, what kind of person you are. And I'm trying to change my heart to be more like God. So I felt like being who I am, still being myself, my loud, boisterous self, I can serve God and I can show people like there is no perfection to this. There is no right way to do it. You just gotta wanna do it. You just gotta wanna be a better person. You have to have something to believe in. At the end of the day, we all have something that motivates us. This podcast, this journey, stepping out of my mean girl phase, because I've had that too. It's all God. And that's what I'm here to talk about, honestly. I'm here to talk about ways that he used me to show me that he could use me in the seasons that I was in. Seasons of like depression, anxiety, anger, rage, confusion. When I tell you I have felt every emotion, I have been through so many testimonies, and I know moving forward, going forward, I'm going to have to be more vulnerable. But yeah, I had to get in a space where it was just me and him. It was just me and God and my feelings, and I was like, look, you gonna do something with me? I'm coming up there to meet you. But that's another story for another day. But I started Ghetto Girls Love God with a group text. Started it, liked the name, and so many people just kept, you need a podcast. You need a podcast. And I'm like, you make one. You want a podcast so bad, you make one. But I knew that I had a voice. I knew that my personality was just like too, people gravitate towards me in ways that I'm like, they don't even, you ever been at a bar and like a stranger come up and tell you their whole life? That has happened to me a billion times. And I'm like, what am I supposed to talk about? What I'm supposed, and they confide in me and I don't know what to say. And it started off small like that. People coming towards me. My relationship with children, I've worked with children more than half my life. The way they gravitate towards me, the way damn animals gravitate towards me. And it's just like I knew that I was different, but I didn't know the word for it. I felt like being different was being weird. Being weird was not normal. And I realized being different is the norm. It is normal to not be like everybody else. So take up space. Use your voice, use your personality, but do it in a way that it's from the heart. You're not doing it. Everything I put out, I don't do it to get nothing back. I had to learn that. I had to take a lot of losses to realize stop doing things looking for stuff back. So it was a lot on this journey. It was a lot that got me here, but it happened, I want to say overnight. Like, I want to start at the beginning, but it's just so many stories that I could give y'all about the beginning. I've had so many beginnings. Let's start there. I've had so many beginnings, but this podcast was something that I felt I was made to do. Like I was born to do. It just kept coming to me. Things come to me in dreams. Things come to me in signs. And I just felt like, all right, God, if you want me to do it, I'm gonna need to talk to you a little more. And started talking to him. He took me out of situations and put me in situations, and I just stopped believing in coincidences altogether. I started believing it's him. It's him. It's him. All right. He don't want me to do that. He don't want me to do this. Even with Jade, y'all are gonna hear a lot about Jade. Jade do not like being on the camera. Jade.
No, I don't.
Jade is behind everything. Y'all, when I tell y'all mama ever said clean your room and then Kane stuck her head in your room every 5 minutes to make sure the room was clean. So you felt like she just gonna keep checking, I gotta get it done. That is Jade. Jade is literally my left and right hand. Like, y'all gonna learn. So I'm gonna get her on this camera one day. I'm going to get her on this camera one day because y'all have to see who carried me. Raven, Megan, Jade, God. Oh, so many people I want to give like shout outs to. Makai, Zoe, Nisha, Nita, Craig. Oh my God, there's so many people. I love y'all so much. But there's so many people, Twee. I can't stop naming names. There's so many people that just like supported me and hyped me up and reassured me and just, man, the love, the closeness. And then what's crazy is everybody had their own little relationship with God. So it's kind of like he was bringing me to other people, but he like, they already know me. So I'm sending you your tribe. And we talk about our village and the people that help us and the people that do this, but your tribe are the ones that literally have to lift you up by your wrists and your ankles when you're at the very bottom. And that's where I was before starting this podcast. I was at my wit's end. I was like, look, God, you up there playing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who all these people that you're introducing me to. Because what's crazy about me and Jade is we met at work. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jade, the first half of the school year, it was, hey girl, Hey girl, like we didn't say nothing to each other. I'm like, what's going on? Jade, little bitty little woman running around the school. I'm like, hey girl. And something happened with my transportation and somebody was like, I think Jade live in the East. I'm like, I ain't said nothing to this girl, but hi. I ain't said nothing to this girl, but what's up? For 6 months and now I'm gonna ask her if I ride home. And y'all, I walked up to her and I'm like, you live in the East? And she was like, I said, can you get me a ride home? She's like, where you live at? I'm like, off Rita Haynes. She was like, how far you live from such and such? And I could walk to Jade's house.
Literally.
I literally can walk to Jade's house. And I got in her car that day and we just talked and laughed and we had so much in common and it turned into like, I was kind of telling her about my podcast. I ain't want to give too much. I was still a little skeptical because it's like, I knew God gave it to me just from the conversations we had. All of our conversations started with God and ended with God, no matter what we said in between. And I think I posted about my logo. And Jay was like, I could do it. So we got to work and we got to talking about my logo. And then it turned into, well, I could record. I could edit. I could do this. I could do that. And I was like, Jade, you can run my life. And that's kind of what it is. Jade stepped in and I knew. There's a lot of friendships that are orchestrated and things happen and you meet people and they come and they go. I knew from that first car ride home, Jade was a part of my tribe. I'm not crying on here today. Jade. Jade was a part of my tribe and I'm just so thankful for her being like, to have somebody come in and Jade never said, well, look, Bree, you don't have this. You can't pay me that. You can't. She just like, when we make it, I'm about to cry. Whew. I know I'm crying on here a lot. But Jade just is like, when we make it. And her talking so matter of fact was like, damn. I'm really doing this. I'm about to do this. And he's handing me people. And he's like, if this what you need, I got you. Because I feel like God knew what I was nervous about. I don't have no camera. I don't have no this. I don't know how to set up that. I barely know how to make a TikTok. You want me to edit videos? And I was going to set up my phone, record myself, and post it. And that's the podcast y'all was going to get. And I knew that Jade came from him. So I was like, he gave me my tribe. Me, Raven, and Megan have always been friends, but you know how you have those friends where like, we don't talk every day, we don't see each other often, but it's just there. In this last year, he brought us so close, so close together that it was undeniable that it was his doing and his orchestrating. And he knew who I needed in this season. He knew what I needed in this season. And I have to give all the thanks to him. There are days where I miss church. I miss Bible study. I don't miss prayer though. I wake up and I pray before I touch my phone. I pray before I get in the car. I pray before I leave my house. When I get back to my house, before I go to bed, I make sure my children pray. And it's not that I feel like that saves me from everything. I just feel like once I prayed, he stepped in. And there's nothing else for me to worry about. And I feel like worrying and praying, you can't do both. I have worried myself literally into depression, worried myself into anxiety, worried myself into panic. But prayer has always given me a sense of, like, I'm not by myself. I'm not doing this alone. I'm not going crazy. And the more time went on, the more I realized, like, for whatever reason, he want me. There are days where I will still curse you out. Baby, I'm not perfect. I will curse you out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jade. Jade has seen.
Bruh. God's still working on all of us.
He's working. And when I tell you he's working on me, he got his hard. He working on me. Hard hat, sandals, robe, hammer. God is working on me. And I came with no foundation, no manual, no nothing. Like, God is working on me. from the beginning to the end. And I always knew, like, growing up, I had a whole bunch of cousins, but I had an aunt that was in church and she kept me in church. And it's like, there's a reason why my mama have 9 sisters. I was always close to her. Shout out my TT Leanie. My auntie Leanie kept me in church. I'm talking step team, praise and worship team, choir. We gotta make our own skirts. Lady teaching me how to sew. She kept me close to God. And I pulled away because I always felt like that's lame. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not going nowhere and just preaching and praying, and there's a time and place for everything. And that's how I used to feel. Like, I'm not doing it. And the older I got, my auntie made me go to church so much. I used to feel like, baby, when I get old, church ain't gonna never, church ain't gonna never see me. You can count me out. You can pray for me. I'm going to the club. Um, excuse me. So the older I got, I strayed away from God. And then early 20s, I kind of, I want to go to church. I want to get to know him. But I felt like I was doing too much. I enjoyed the things of the world too much. There was no way I could do what God was calling me to do and live what I felt like I was supposed to be doing in my 20s. And I backslid. And fast forward to, I'm going to get deep, but surface level conversation right now. 30s. I was engaged, 2 kids. And I prayed one day. I was at home. I was cooking. And I was like, God, I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going, what you have for me, but something don't feel right. Something is missing. I was like, and if you need me, if you need to pull me out of everything, and y'all, this is the hardest I ever prayed, and this is the fastest God ever answered. I said, if you need, my kids were in the room, their dad was at work, and I'm literally at the stove talking out loud, cooking grits, I'll never forget. I had on a white t-shirt, black shorts, I had a black bonnet on, and I'm cooking grits. And I was like, God, if you need to strip me of everything, I think it's time for me to get close to you. I cannot make this up, y'all. My kid's dad walked in the door. I'm not sure if we exchanged words or what. And his words was, Bree, if you want to leave, you could go. Yeah, you don't have to be here.
That was your release right there, my friend.
The way I dropped that spoon in that pot of grits, and I went in the room, and I packed my bag, and I put it on, y'all. I left him with everything. I left with my kids, my car keys, and the few pieces of clothes I felt I needed. And I was gone. And from there, God started, because I trusted him in that moment, June 3rd, because I remember June 20 something was when, we'll tap back. June 3rd, I was in Lake Charles. That's what it was. And I was coming back. And I talked to God a little bit, got home. So that had to have been about June 4th, 5th, 2020. We in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know if I have a job. I ain't even supposed to be leaving my damn house. And when I asked for a sign, and that boy came in there and said that just as cool, calm, and collected, I knew that was God's way of grabbing me by my bonnet and dragging me out that house. And from that moment on, trusting God, it was hard. I ain't gonna never say it was easy. Trusting God became like I gotta do it. If I want, I gotta start giving into him. And there are still worldly temptations that I haven't quite given up. There are still my temper being one of them. My temper definitely being at the top of the list. There are times where I will flash out, and I'm talking go off, and immediately after I go off, I will cry. And I'm like, God, you know I ain't want to do that. You know I ain't want to say that. You know. And it's like, he like, I forgive you. Forgive yourself. And on this journey, I had to learn a lot. Oh, the amount of forgiveness. The amount of forgiveness. Look me in my eye when I tell y'all the amount of forgiveness. That's the first thing I learned. You cannot move forward without letting stuff go. And I had to learn to forgive. And when you think of forgiveness, you think, they say they sorry, I forgive them, and I forgive him, and I forgive them. How many times do you forgive yourself? A lot of our depression, anxiety, panic, worry, stress, it comes from not letting go of mistakes we made, of things we feel we should have did, we should have said, ways we should have handled things. Forget it. Forget it. Like, you have to forgive yourself. And once you forgive yourself, you like, all right, now what's next? And that's what I had to learn. Like, breathe. Yes, you did key his car on Monday. But Tuesday, you're going to stay inside. And you're going to pray. And you're going to cry. And you're going to forgive yourself. And you're going to think of what triggered you to do that. So that when that happens again, it won't trigger you. And I had to go through shit. Try not to cuss. I had to go through stuff 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 times to realize, like, same action, same result. You want different results, you need a different action. And it got repetitive. It got exhausting. There were times where I was mad at God. What you up there doing? You're playing around. You think I'm your strongest soldier and I'm not. And I'm about to show, like, I used to get mad at God. Holler, scream, fuss. And he know it. He know it was coming. Long as I was talking to him, long as I was running to him and not the club. I was running to him and not men. I was running to him and not my friends. God didn't care how mad I was, long as I brought it to him. And every time I brought something to him, he took a little bit away. A little bit of stress, a little bit of worry, a little bit of panic. He took a little bit of it away at a time. And here we are doing a podcast talking about my crazy and my God. And how it is all of me. My crazy and my God. That is all of me. That is all I have. I need a quick break.
Try to think about how you want to wrap it up.
But being that there's so much more I want to talk about, I don't want to say too much on the first episode. I do want to like keep y'all tuned in of how we're gonna do this. There's gonna, like I said, you can send in questions. Email ghettogirlsloveguy465 at gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram. Both pages. Yeah, that's Bree, 2 underscores. Or Ghetto Girls Love God, all one word, all spelled correctly. Look it up if you have to. I take questions. I'll answer them publicly, privately. Like I said, it is a community. I'm trying to make you comfortable with this journey. Like I said, I want everybody to be comfortable on this journey. We are a community. This isn't just me highlighting my life. I'm gonna have guests come on, people you know, people you don't know. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna cry. Oh, I'm gonna do up some crying. So get ready. I don't care. I'm gonna cry. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, we're gonna pray, and we're gonna love God, y'all. Ghetto or not, in our true tone, in our true fashion, we're going to love Him. So come see me on YouTube every Monday, 7 o'clock. Jay don't play, she gets down. Every Monday, 7 o'clock. We're gonna get through this. I'm here to hold your hand, literally, walk with you. So, see y'all next time.